everybody to the BAFTA for the second event that we've done here. Some of you, in fact, a lot of you I recognize from last year. First of all, I need to thank our sponsors. You can see them all here. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to pay for this lovely location and feed you so well. Most of you here are ad-based network media owners, or people selling into this space. Digital signage is what we're known for, as well as digital out-of-home. Without digital signage, there would be no digital out-of-home. This particular event is one of a number of events this week, in a week that we've called London Digital Signage Week. Last year, now, Tim Bleakley, I can see in the room, very kindly opened the summit last year. We had 150 people in the room. We've got close to 200 people here today. Tim, in his presentation, called it a seminal moment for the industry. But it was really one of the first gatherings of digital media owners in the UK.
I've kind of positioned today as innovate, captivate, and grow, because I came a year ago and talked about primarily collaboration and new people into the industry and various other things. I'm talking about innovate, captivate, and grow, because I think the industry, and Tim described this, I think 2 years ago, is at a sort of watershed moment, actually, for me. I think we've invested hundreds of millions of pounds, dollars, whatever currency you take, into not just digital, but lots of new things. We've all expanded, and that's not about M&A acquisitions and inorganic things. It's about expanded into new areas. And we've trialed and tested, actually, as an industry. I think the time, for me, is now about harnessing those investments more strategically and with each other. It's about innovating more as a sector, not about innovating as a media owner. And then captivating and engaging audiences. And that's about consumers, not just advertisers, which is something else I think we need to do, again, as a sector. My point here is the medium is resilient. It's driving continued growth. It's a sustainable and attractive advertising business model. And that market growth shows no signs of slowing. This shows you the Kinetic forecast, which is 40% share by 2020. If you take a blend of about 7 different analyst forecasts, looking out for, let's say, the next 10 years, you'll find that you'll see probably about 50 to 2/3 market share.
Yeah, it is big and it is clever. It's been an amazing 10 years. The channel is delivering intelligent campaigns at scale every day. Not enough of them, but we're getting there. The scale means we're not an emerging medium anymore, and we should lose that badge because it is basically an excuse for being suboptimal. We must embrace that evolution. It's going to carry on. We must keep moving forward, or else we'll fall off the bike, which we don't want to do. Thank you very much.
The flexibility that digital out-of-home allows, that we can now really accurately target our core audience. We can deliver relevant, contextualized messaging at the right time of day, through day part, by week, by weekend, by day and by hour. And we can really deliver the real-time, the near real-time communication, realise social content creation, and so on. And this opens up an absolute plethora of endless opportunities.
So we knew from the previous study that big, high-profile sites have a very strong impact, and we know that full motion sites increase the power of that impact. So we went into this study, into this new bit of research, and we went in with a specific hypothesis, which was that digital out-of-home's ability to prime, to actually increase receptiveness to messages on other media, went beyond out-of-home and actually could extend into the wider media landscape.
But the point I want to make in here is that, yeah, the media landscape is changing, and our view and what we're seeing is that media is going to have to become more addressable, it's going to have to become more targeted, and talking to Fiona's point, it's going to have to become measurable, because that's what our advertisers want. They want the measure, they want to understand their ROI, they want to understand what it's delivering.
So what in essence I'm going to speak to you today about is really about one word: automation. And when I say automation, I mean automation between media buyers and media sellers. We're going to look at what's happening in the online world. We're going to learn lessons from the online world, and we're going to apply it to digital out-of-home. So I started with this has happened before, and this is what we want to do. We want to evolve from remnant to premium guaranteed. I'm going to close with 3 fun predictions for 2016. First prediction, one of the 3 major out-of-home vendors in the world will create and operate a private ad exchange with a premium direct marketplace in 2016. Second prediction. One of the most important and newest digital out-of-home networks in America will embrace programmatic as a first-class citizen and be completely data-driven via geotemporal ad serving from day one. And the third and final prediction is that one of the major 3 global specialists, a lot of you in the room, I predict that you will pilot programmatic direct, premium guaranteed purchase with selected media owners, essentially a pilot, and place a buy through a private marketplace in 2016.
Unlike the sectors that we invest in traditionally, we feel that the media sector is undergoing an evolution where a lot of the expenditure is switching from old traditional media to new media, and we feel that digital media or digital signage is going to be one of the major recipients of this shifting expenditure. Therefore, as an investor, we're always looking to find the alpha in our portfolio, and we felt that by partnering with a company which is a leading provider of digital signage solutions, we would be able to achieve that alpha.
The digital revolution that we saw this morning with all the presentation, I think, will really change the future of our cities faster, maybe, than we think. And the 21st century will definitely be the century of cities, because the changes to come are and will really be amazing.
I'm quite proud that retail has been at the heart of the transformation in the passenger experience at Gatwick. And I think what we've tried to do with our friends at iAirports is make sure that the digital media screen estate is also an integral part of that retail food and beverage offer, and is all sort of driving towards a great customer experience at Gatwick and ultimately better commercial revenues as well.
On a serious note, in light of what I said earlier about ThinkBox, I genuinely believe we have a fantastic opportunity here with the OMC under Alan and Mark's guise and guidance to actually have a very, very credible marketing body to do a lot of that shouting on our behalf with our collective support.
We appreciate that the old model of basing a relationship on a large guaranteed revenue stream has its limitations, not least in the way it limits innovation and risk-taking due to having to keep one's eye on a cheque being written every quarter. So we plan to move away from that to a situation where, if we work in a far more collaborative manner, where our objectives and motivations are aligned, where the risks and rewards are shared more evenly, then we can deliver a better advertising landscape through which to target that audience and deliver real value in return for our advertisers.
I want to thank all the speakers, first of all. This is going to be like the Academy Awards. I'm going to thank my mother and my children in a minute. But speakers primarily, they're all incredibly busy people, as you know. We've had 11 speakers on stage, 2 and Steve is a sort of a threesome. And they've all spent a huge amount of time putting their presentations together. They're all passionate about what they've done, and I think they've all shared their passion with us and quite freely shared with us their knowledge and their insight. And the thing that we said last year, and it's one of the things that Tim Bleakley talked about when he keynoted the event last year as well, and Sean repeated, we're talking really, all the speakers are talking to their competitors in the room, but we're sharing knowledge. And I think every speaker has talked about sharing the knowledge that they have and the insight and working together. Collaboration was one of the big key things. I need to thank the sponsors. Without our sponsors up on the screen, we wouldn't have an event because it's a very expensive event to put on. I think you've got the message that London is still on top. London's way ahead. It was Dirk Husserman from NEC and Vukanet who 2 years ago coined the catchy phrase that we like, London is the place to be. He moved from Düsseldorf to be here because this was the happening place. It still is the happening place. We've obviously seen really good people join the industry. Sean was the archetypal example. Last year when he presented, he was at Telefonica. And it's not just digital billboards, it's all the social media, the NFC. Beacons was a pretty big topic here. The one thing I would say that when I was in the US last year with Neil from Ground Visual, he'll agree with me, gimbal, Proxama, beacons were the hot topic, the really big hot topic from the US. One thing, possibly, I've had a chat with a couple of people in the audience, I won't say who they were, but Andreas's prediction of the 3 things that are going to happen by 2006, there's about half a dozen people in the room who think you're wrong, because they think it will happen a year earlier. I've got to thank JCTCO again for these books. We worked a little bit with them on the It's the DailyDOOH, because you have the book of big numbers and you have the DailyDOOH, which is the digital one. So please take these ones home. DailyDOOH worked very hard on this stuff, and you'll see from the data they have there for the digital stuff. Digital out of home is a young, upmarket medium, does really well with ABC ones and 15 to 34-year-olds. And there's a statistic in there that I think it's something like almost 2 billion impressions every 2 weeks. So that's it. We'd like to see you back next year. We do this every May. I'd just like to thank you all for coming and close today's sermon.